Welcome back to another Lab Notes, and this is where we dig into some of the 3D printing news that's out there. And today, I kind of wanted to start with a really big question. Can your 3D printer be hacked? Now, what I'm talking about is, our 3D printers are connected to a computer, and we download a lot of unknown files. I mean, we know where we're getting them from, but do we always know exactly if they're what they're supposed to be? And then we trust that they're going to print what we want. I mean, there's so much more. Even if you stay off of the internet and just use your own local Wi-Fi, well, you're using those files on a thumb drive and all that. Anyway, I'm not just talking about bad people, though. I'm talking about big business, government, law enforcement. Can our 3D printers be hacked? Well, hold on tight, because there's a few little things I want to talk to you about today. And first, I want to talk about these articles that I saw just a few weeks ago, not too long ago, and has a lot of legal implications depending on how this gets implemented. And fortunately, though, at least hopefully, this is only going to affect bad people doing bad things. Now, it seems that some researchers have developed a system that can identify which specific 3D printer created which specific 3D print. And they're going to do this supposedly kind of how ballistics are used. And you've probably seen on TV and shows and things where they trace projectiles to match individual, what do we call it, just weapons, let's say like that. Try not to get in trouble with YouTube here. But the way they do that is they analyze these little microscopic patterns as it goes through barrels and does all this different thing. Well, just like that, they're going to do that with 3D prints. And they say every printer has tiny variations in the motor, mechanics, calibration, and other things. Now, most recently, the University of Illinois has used regular photos of printed parts, and they feed those into a large learning model, and they've achieved like nearly 99% accuracy. And in case large learning model, you don't know, that's what most of us call AI nowadays. But anyway, they're saying that anybody with a trained system could trace a 3D print back to the exact 3D printer that made it, even without having direct access to that machine. Now, normally in ballistics, they have to have the weapon and use it and then compare what they had to what they got there, but they don't really explain how they do that, so who knows? My assumption, and I think based on what I was reading, is that the 3D print that they have, they take pictures and then use the AI, and then as long as they just have a print and they know which printer it came from, so they don't actually have to have access to that original printer. At least that's my understanding how that's going to work. Now, this could be used in a lot of different ways. The biggest ways I see is obviously intellectual property, things that are copyrighted, things that are needing protection under the law so that they're not sold. So maybe Patreon users and things like that. But anyway, the other is counterfeit prevention. So some of those old different statues and things, if they got somehow done properly. Anyway, to go beyond that, law enforcement, I could see using this obviously for a lot of different ways of prosecuting bad guys. And don't forget, for example, someone that's printing a restricted item, and that's the ghost items, as we've heard about on the news a lot for whatever reason recently. Those and stolen designs all could be theoretically traced back through your 3D printer's fingerprint to, well, maybe not yours, but back to the original 3D printer that made it, and then they can use that as evidence. And again, even if that file came from an anonymous source, they can find that 3D printer. Now, they are working out the bugs. They're quick to say this is all still in the research stages, but the fact that they go ahead and say that it's 99% accurate, that's better than a lot of things that we use in court sometimes now, even still. So we can expect news stories probably at some point in the future to start showing up, especially TV shows and movies. But, you know, fully expect Hollywood to kind of go way too far, kind of like they did with, you know, security cameras, where they have a blurry image. You can't even tell if it's a human being, and they zoom in and they identify somebody based on a tag on their coat or something. Anyway, that's some interesting technology that could lead back to our own 3D printers. Something that's going to be a lot closer to home for a lot of us. And for months, I'm sure, even if you don't own this particular brand of 3D printer, you're aware of all the focus going on about some of the Big Brother type stuff coming out of Bambu Lab, and they're out of China. And just so you know, I have 4 Bambu 3D printers myself, and I've talked about those here on the channel. And I really like them, have no problem with them, but I'm being very objective here, and hopefully that comes across. Anyway, back in January, they announced that Bambu Lab is effectively locking down firmware and software. And they're going to implement something called Bambu Connect. Now, this is a go-between between your computer or your cell phone, however you connect to your printer. It's a in-between that is a security measure. So you print, now it goes into the cloud, supposedly to your printer, but then it's going to, with the Bambu Connect, it's going to go into that. That's going to verify. I can't tell you that I understand exactly how this works, but that's what they're telling us out there. So it's going to be a go-between, and that is implemented for security. And the reason is, why would they do this? Well, and I said this way back when I did my first video about this back in February, I believe. Apparently, according to Bambu, their servers get hit by bad actors and hackers in the realm of millions and millions of attacks every single day of the year, and it never stops. Millions. I can't even imagine one, much less millions. But even after putting that information out, of course, they got a lot of backlash, and there was a lot of speculation online from some more vocal and angry people in different areas, and talking about, you know, they're going to lock it all down. We're only going to be able to use their filament. We're only going to be able to use their models from MakerWorld and all sorts of stuff like that. And none of that has changed. It's only in the access of getting the files onto your 3D printer. And on top of all that, they did a couple of things, one of which is they've really held off. They were going to do that, I believe, in February, and now it's in June 2025, and they just actually pushed that out to all the A1 and P1 3D printers. And I got them on mine and figured I'd go ahead and test them out, and I have been. Haven't really noticed anything, so if you have an A1 and a P1, you should have seen that come through, and let us know in the comments if you've noticed any big differences and how that's affecting you. But along with holding off, they've also put in a developer mode, and if you haven't heard about that, that's under your preferences, and you can turn on developer mode, and that's supposedly going to be able to allow you to then just turn on the LAN or your local area network and be able to print straight across your own network in your house, so that you don't have to upload to the cloud. You could do that before, but this new lockdown kind of got rid of that, so this developer mode's a workaround for that. Now, another thing they're allowing is, and I haven't seen how this works, I haven't tried it, but they're supposedly going to allow you to downgrade your firmware to a previous version if you decide that this is not for you and you don't want to deal with this. So I think that's a great thing. We've seen that on other, and I'm trying to think through, had some Android tablets and different things through the years where you would want to downgrade at least one just to kind of hold off, and hopefully some fixes would be made, and then you get the new things. Because what that means is you're not getting all of those new fixes. You're not getting all the new upgrades and changes, and hopefully making things better if you're downgrading instead of upgrading. So that's one of the things that you're going to lose if you decide to do that route. Personally, if it came to me, I would use the LAN, and you can still always use your thumb drive, SD card, however that works. Just like we all did with 3D printers before Bambu ever came around. So there you go. Another thing that I get a lot of people talking about is that cloud thing, that it's going through China and they're scraping all of our data and everything. I mean, we see that. We all have cell phones, and so yeah, I can understand. And one of the things I did is I went to my preferences, and there's a option to turn off the customer experience improvement program. And you can turn that off, and that's going to limit the data that goes to them. I'm not going to say it turns it completely off. I honestly have heard and read previously to all this happening from different people at Bambu, and of course it's Bambu, but they've said no, that's not what, they don't do all of the bad things that people have been accusing them of. I don't know, so I'm just throwing it out there. Now, if you do the upgrade, what is that going to do? It's going to change in things like Octoprint, a bunch of other third-party apps. I know I have the Panda add-ons from Big Tree Tech and all of that. Those are going to stop working unless they connect through the Bambu Connect. And that's going to be something they're going to have to fix on their end, because Bambu at this point is not going to change. We'll have to wait and see how that works. Along that line, Orca Slicer is probably the biggest thing that most of us have been concerned about. And I know I have, because I love using Orca Slicer. But they originally said they were going to work with it. Now, in the past week, with the upgrades hitting on the firmware, they have said that they are going to reject Bambu Connect. And their comment was that it severely limits what their slicer can do, and they're recommending to all Bambu users to hold off on upgrading to the new firmware, which is also an option. I meant to mention that earlier, along with downgrading. You can just not upgrade. They're pushing Bambu. They're in talks with them. They're trying to get them to do better, to create a more seamless and proper open API. Now, if you don't know what API means, that's that back-end software that allows third-party apps and hardware and stuff like that to connect to a system like this. So they're asking for a better open API for people like them to be able to use without severely limiting that slicer. Now, should point out along that line that Bambu Studio, Orca Slicer, both are based off of Prusa Slicer, and that in turn is also based off of Slicer, and that's the one with the 3 for the E at the end, which one of the original, if not the original, Slicer. And they are all supposed to be open source based on that original one. And so that makes me wonder, I've been thinking about it, I wonder how all of this lockdown is going to affect them, if they're going to get in trouble with the open sourcing. And there's legal things because they have lawyers as well. Even though it's open source. So I'm curious to see how that's going to affect them, or if it's just firmware, if that's more of a gray area and they're not going to see any backlash on that from that end. Okay, so all of that being said, how does this lockdown, as it's being called, how does these new changes with the Bambu firmware, how is this going to affect most of us with Bambu 3D printers? And don't come at me over this, please. This is the facts as I see them right now. And the truth is that for most of us, and note I said most of us, with Bambu 3D printers, we're not going to be affected at all. There you go. But wait, so you're saying that all the YouTubers, the bloggers, all those people out there making angry video posts and stuff, and they're throwing away and selling off all their Bambu 3D printers, that you're telling me they're all wrong? Well, the thing is, if all you want to do is make great 3D prints and have a lot of fun, print out some gifts for friends and family, and maybe even sell a few 3D prints legally here and there, and it's just something you're doing because you really, really enjoy it, then no, you have nothing to worry about. And nothing's going to change. Honestly, for you, it's just all going to keep going the way it has always been. There are those people though, print farms, people that love modding things, and like I said, I have the Big Tree Tech Panda stuff, and some of those are not going to be working in the future, or even now. Well, I'm on the P1S with those, but we'll see how that works. And you've got other people that are going to be that want to tinker and make adjustments and add Octoprint and all these things. Well, yeah, they are going to be affected. And I have considered putting Octoprint on mine at times and looked at it, and I just haven't, and so now I won't. It doesn't mean because those things don't work for those people, that doesn't mean their printers don't work either. So I've literally heard people saying they're throwing theirs in the trash. And then I've seen a lot of people, especially back like in February when this first came out, January, February, that they were selling them and doing all this. So you're basically pushing your problems off on the other people. Anyway, there's a whole bunch to go wrong with that. But their printers still work. They're just going to have to make some changes to their workflow, how things go. They're just going to have to make adjustments. Not going to affect the majority of Bambu 3D printer users. Like I said in that previous video way back then, let's just keep calm. See how things work out. And like an ancient Persian poet once wrote a long, long time ago, this too shall pass. I don't think they were talking about 3D printers, probably. Well, anyway, that's it for lab notes, and I'll put some links to some of those articles that I mentioned down in the description, and let's talk about it. Tell me what you think. If you've had any problems, post them, let us all know, and let's keep it calm and nice and everything. And remember, we're supposed to be having fun in all of this. Let's just keep having fun and keep 3D printing so we can all learn, create, and amaze.